YouTube and Facebook family. We're here tonight to chat with Cece. Thank you for coming. And it's been so many topics right now that's concerning during this pandemic. So I decided let's talk about dating. What do you do with dating in the pandemic? I mean, that's a hard subject for some people. I'm glad really I'm not out there. But what about if you are out there dating? What do you do? It's such a scary time. So I thought that would be a good topic just to see what people doing. And you out there in comment land, if y'all want to comment about what do you do when you go out to date, or do you have any suggestions or whatever, just put it in the comments and we'll address it. I'm gonna bring on two ladies that they are single and they're out here dating. So let's see what they do. Okay. Hello, Sean and Dawn. You got a rhyme here with your names, huh? How you doing tonight?
Good.
Good.
Okay. Well, what we're gonna do, like I told my YouTube audience, we're talking about dating in the pandemic, and I know that's gonna be a challenge. I'm gonna try to. Okay. Put us back in the same thing. But it could be a challenge out here dating during the pandemic compared to pre-pandemic. So, that's a question that me and another friend was talking about what do you do? What do you do as a single person? You don't have to date, and we don't know how long this pandemic gonna last. So, this may be our new norm. So we're gonna have to be used to it some kind of way. So we'll start off with you, Sharon. Could you tell me what was it like before the pandemic compared to after the pandemic, as far as were you dating before the pandemic?
All right. So prior to the pandemic, I wasn't dating. I just recently started dating, mostly online. Thank God for FaceTime and the video cameras to where you can actually conversate and see one another without the mask. When we do our meet and greets, I do like to see their face, so a mask is really not that big of a deal for me. But other than that, I'm enjoying it.
Okay. I heard. Do you have a TV? Do any of y'all have a TV on or something that's in the background? Because I can hear some noise.
No.
Okay. I don't know what that is. Both of y'all phones are off or away from the computer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what that is. But okay, I heard you say that a mask is not that big a deal for you. But are you meeting people online that you don't know, or are you meeting people on the street that you don't know? How are you meeting people?
Basically online. If I see someone out and about when I'm in the store and they approach me, of course, I have on my mask then. And it's just a hey, simple hello, how you doing type of conversation.
Okay. How about you, Dawn? Could you tell me what you was doing pre-pandemic and what you do now? And is it a scary time for you, or does it matter?
I did date before. In fact, I dated a lot. I still date a lot because I'm single, and that's just what I do.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't a big deal, but for me, pandemic started in January when I saw it on the TV. When I saw it on CNN, I wasn't waiting until everybody else was like, "Oh, it's a pandemic." No, it's been a pandemic. So I was already careful. And before we were mandated to stay home, they were teasing me at work for looking like a Muslim because I had my whole head and face. There was somebody sick in my office for 5 weeks. So, but anyway, I dated, a little bit out, mostly online like Sean, You know, I do the online dating, and sometimes someone will set up on a blind date. But the last date that I've been on since we were quarantined was in May. I mean, back then, I was dating like probably 2 to 3 different times a week.
Okay.
But all that came to a screeching halt because for me, virus that kills people is the same as the other virus that kills people. And if I say I'm wearing a condom to not get HIV, how could I not wear a mask not to get something that'll kill me a little faster or kill somebody, even if it doesn't kill me? But
okay. So let me ask you this: when you both of y'all date online, so when you meet somebody, do you ever have men that come out and ask you, you know, do you wear a mask? Do you ever have, can we address that? Do you ever have men that come out and say, well, are you wearing a mask or have you been tested or anything like that?
No, not at all.
Okay. How about you, Dawn?
Well, on my online dating web page, my profile, it said that masks are mandatory. So
Oh, so you serious, huh?
I let them know in advance. Don't even contact me. Don't come to me all like that. So so there's a mutual understanding before we even say hello. I don't want to waste anybody's time.
So
But
have a man ever, when he see that on your profile, do he ever talk to you like saying, like, why you tripping, or you know, I'm glad you feel like you want to be safe because I want to be safe too. What do the men usually say when they see that?
I've actually gotten both. But the first, I thought, honest to God, I thought everybody wanted to wear masks. I didn't know there was going to end up being an issue or discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But so me just assuming that everybody was thinking the same way. The first time that a person said something to me, he was like, why are you doing that? And I said, excuse me, like, why are you not doing that? Why are you asking me that? But anyway, that relationship ended very quickly because, you know, we don't have anything in common. And I'm not trying to the next one. There's always more behind. But I met someone. I decided in May to go out with someone I had dated before because I knew he was germ last year. So I figured, oh, well, he's going to be perfect for me now. And then when I met him at the restaurant, he came in without a mask on. I was like, oh, Lord. So and I'm sure I'm extra, but people who know me, they already know I'm extra. There's no hiding it. But I had so much anxiety that although I like him, it wasn't worth to feel uncomfortable. So I just said, you know what, Dawn, maybe you just gonna have to let all the other women have him for right now because I can't.
Okay. Well, Sean, tell me, you said that you haven't met a man that even cared, and you don't necessarily care. So when y'all meet, do y'all meet in a place that's outdoors, or what kind of dates have you been going on?
Okay, so initially we do have the conversation, like, have you ever been around someone who tested positive? Like, we have that initial conversation.
Okay.
But as far as places, mainly just to the park.
Okay.
And we'll just walk around. The boardwalk is my favorite spot. So, you know, just walk around and have a conversation. And technically, when we're all out there, no one is actually wearing a mask at the park. Crazy as it sounds, but yeah. So no, we have.
There is some people out there that don't even believe it's a virus. So I could believe that some people out there, you know, they're going out without masks. So, you know, I could believe that. So y'all mostly meet outdoors. That's
yes,
what you say.
Outdoors. Yeah.
Okay. What if he says, well, let's go indoors. Let's go get a bite to eat, and it's raining outside, so you can't eat outdoors. Do y'all address that, or you just go inside? I mean, you comfortable with that?
Yeah, of course. Like, I'm going to follow the rules for any establishment that requires you to wear a mask. So yeah,
Mhm.
but dates that I've been on, we technically don't go inside. Like we're just out walking around, so I can get to know them personally before I take it to that level. So it's just a quick meet
Okay.
and greet.
Okay. So it's a meet and greet. So after you
Yeah.
meet and greet, the next time that you meet him, are you feel comfortable enough to not wear a mask, or is it ever an issue with you?
An issue? No, like I said,
Okay.
if we're
Okay.
in someone's establishment, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll wear a mask.
Okay. Okay. Do you mind if I ask both of y'all, do you have kids?
Hmm.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have a child with an autoimmune disease, so I have to be careful what I bring home. But in my defense, I don't seem extremely germophobic. I work about I work with about 800 people on an airport construction site, and every time there's
Mhm.
um, an outbreak on our job
Mhm.
site, send an email to each employee and with details. We took the temperature, we did, they give you a full report. After about 60 of those in a few weeks,
Yeah.
I'm
That
good.
could have, yeah, it could have an effect on your job. What kind of work do you do, Sean? You don't have to name the place, but do you work with the public, or what kind of work do you do?
I actually work from home.
Okay, okay, so it's just you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess that do make a difference, because if around a place that go to work that, somebody get affected, they have to sterilize the whole place.
Mhm.
And that, hold on a minute, I'm sorry about that. But that can create a problem. So I do understand that.
And they
But
well, they they send everybody home that you've been in contact with for the last 5 days. They shut the entire section of the job. And I work from home too. Thank God. They probably made me work from home because they already knew I was head wrapped. And they were picking up because I was wrapped up before anybody was wearing a mask. But that girl in my
yeah,
something. But when I date, I'm only dating people that I would consider for something serious. And I told them I would only inside. I do not want to date them outside because people outside don't follow the rules. And then you got some people that's got anger issues. I'm not trying to do all of that. So my house is clean, his house is clean, and that's how we're gonna have to do it.
Well, the thing is, when you first meeting somebody, you may not want to bring them to your house, or you may not want to go to his house because you don't know him. So, I mean, that's a dilemma. What do you do in that case?
This whole 2020 is a dilemma. It's raggedy. It's ridiculous. I'm off. I got heels I can't wear nowhere. I get that some people go out and do it, but my kid gets sick from common cold. Like autoimmune people are very different. Their bodies,
Yeah.
them. I'm not trying to go through that. And he hadn't been anywhere. He's been sick 3 times. We've been to the ER. He didn't even the house just for me coming in. So I don't know. For me, I cannot. I'm having a hard time separating COVID from HIV. They're the same to me. They're viruses that people. I just
Yeah. It's the same to you, right? Well,
Yes.
it could be like the death to some people, because I really, my autoimmune system is compromised too, and so I catch everything that continues to come along, and so the only places I've been lately to the doctor, because they just now accepted me again, and the grocery store, and I wear my mask, but I do realize it is a dilemma out there when you're dating, because like I said, this may be the new norm, and what you're gonna do? Stay single forever? I mean, you have to work out some kind of compromise. I heard AMC is opening their movie theaters this weekend, So that's, that could be a place to date. Now they said they're gonna adhere to social distancing and they're gonna sterilize. I don't know if they're gonna sterilize the place. It would seem like they would have to sterilize after each movie or something like that to be safe. I don't know, but Sean, would you go to the movie if AMC is open and we get a date to the movie?
No, no, I won't. I'm gonna stay old school for the moment, and we'll have a picnic at the park. I'm not going inside of the movie theater. That is out.
No, you're right.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. I know Dawn is not going to the movie theater. So what happens in the wintertime? You stop dating all winter?
That's a good question. We'll have to figure something out.
Because it don't look like COVID is going nowhere.
No, I haven't thought about that part. That's if I'm still in the dating scene around that time. So, if that's the case, then restaurants it is. But no, I'm not doing the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I do.
You out there in Facebook and YouTube, if you have a suggestion, write it and we'll figure it out, because the movie theaters are opening up, which is I mean, I don't know how they're gonna work it. They said they're gonna use sterilization techniques. Now it's a lot to sterilize after each movie, so I don't know how that's gonna work. But they said they're gonna do social distancing. I guess you could skip a seat, but if you're on a date, who wants to skip a seat? So I don't know.
A friend of mine gave me an idea. She's very comfortable going any and everywhere safely, but she's very comfortable. And she told me that there are a few places that will give you an instant COVID test. I think it's like 15 minutes, but it costs $150. So if a guy thinks that I'm worth $150 and he's willing, hey, they spend more than that on dinner sometimes. So if
150 or 50?
$150 to get your test results back. If they want to be face to face and all hugged up, and I don't know you like that, you got to come with your paperwork, just like you would if you were having unprotected sex. You'd have to go to the doctor, come back with a little piece of paper, and then we can talk. But other than that, nah.
Sean, do you think that's unreasonable, or what would you require that if it come down eventually? Like, say, I know you're comfortable right now, but say it comes a time that because they say when cold and flu season come, it's gonna get worse. And I don't know, but we all don't know. But if it does, like I say, you have to date some kind of way. Would you feel comfortable if a man asked you, or if you ask a man to spend $150 for a test?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll go half on the test if necessary. So I'm good.
Okay. Well, how does the test run? Is that a blood test, or what happens with the test?
Well, I haven't done it, but I have not done the test, but I think it's just a great. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so
I
have not done the test because I have not been anywhere to catch anything. So, but if I were to, I believe you either get a swab in the nose or you get a swab in the cheek. But I have not presented the idea to anyone. But I mean, there's also the idea of self-quarantine for a few days, or if he's the type of guy that wears a mask everywhere. I'll give you an example. I met a really nice guy, and he was sharing with me pictures from his Puerto Rico trip that he just came off from last week. He's like, "Hey, Dawn, when can I meet you?" I said, "After 14-day quarantine. You over in Puerto Rico, and every picture you in everybody's face with no mask on. You can't come around me like that." So no.
Oh, really? Yeah. I don't know what they're doing in Puerto Rico over there, but I guess it's just like yeah. I mean, it is something, and I don't think you should feel unreasonable. I guess because it's just like what you say with HIV. Even though they have drugs now for HIV, in the past, people ask. Well, hopefully, people ask before they got intimate with somebody. Did you have a test? I know when I was dating, I did. So I guess that wouldn't be unreasonable, and maybe by that time, by the end of the year, the 150 would have went down after they have copycat people, doing the test. So it'd be more affordable for people. Would you believe, and this question for both of y'all, would you believe a man that says, I just took the test and I came back negative, or would you, before you go on a date, would you have to see that paper?
I would need to see the paper.
Okay. How about you, Dawn?
The men that know me know that they have to bring paper. They can't just tell me anything.
Yeah.
Which might be why I'm still single.
Yeah, well, you are serious about that paper, huh? Yeah. But it is something. It's something to think about. Actually, it could be your life. You just don't know. Some people recover, some people don't. Sean, let me ask you something. If you went on a date and you outside with a guy and he's sneezing, coughing, and stuff like that, would you look at him sideways and end the day, or do you think? And he says, "Oh, this is just allergies." What would you say about that?
I think I would jokingly play it off, and I don't know, my suspicions will take over me, and I might cut the date short.
That is something to think about, because really, I have allergies, and I would have took the test because I do have allergies, and I don't really go nowhere. But my husband, he works, and I thought about it. I said, when I go collect the mail or something, I'm out here sneezing with my tissue and stuff, and have to pull down my mask to wipe my nose. I said, I know people looking at me all funny, and really, with everything going on. And he's working. I said, let me check and make sure he didn't bring me anything. So I had to take it. But yeah, there is allergies out there, and people may generally have allergies, but it's just you just don't know.
You just don't know, and it's crazy that
And did you all hear on the news today? They were saying they found COVID in some frozen chicken wings.
I saw that.
I didn't.
Did we fade out? It looked like it's a storm coming. Maybe the internet connection gone. But did you see that?
I did.
Both Sean, did you see that too about the chicken wings?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting crazy. They did say out there that so far, but I don't know if you could believe the news. They said so far that everybody who ate the chicken wings, that they haven't tested positive. But how do you know? I mean, we hear so many things that ain't true. How do you really know?
My mom seems to think that you kill all viruses and bacteria when you cook the meat. But I actually had an encounter last week, Wednesday, with someone having a series of sneezing. And I was at physical therapy. And of course, everyone has to wear their mask. It's on the signs everywhere. No one comes in here without a mask. So I didn't make a big deal out of it. I made it a joke because we're in like a little tight room. So when I went to my lady to say, hey, I'm done with the bike, and I said, hey, were you the one sneezing? So the lady behind her turned around and said, no, that was me. I have allergies. When she turned around, she had her mask hanging over her right ear. And I'm sure I looked at her like she was crazy, because she was there, and you've got signs plastered all over the door that we can't even come in the building without, the mask on the full time. So I said, you're the one who said, oh my God, you're not even wearing a mask. I said, okay, well, my therapy is over. I'll see you guys next week. I'm not. That's unacceptable to me. And she goes, well, I have allergies. I said, so do I. And you're making me wear a mask, so you need to be wearing it too. And that's
Yeah. But with the food though, I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, how you think frozen chicken, you know, they saying that they saying that it's mutating. So with frozen chicken, you know, usually high heat and coldness. Well, I guess coldness may just what you call it when you stop moving. What do you call it?
I don't
You know what I'm trying to say. Like say, you know how like when you frozen, it slows your heart down. You go in a form of stasis. Yeah. Okay. So, you know, it's kind of scary because if this virus is living in frozen, something that's been frozen, and when it's shipped, you don't know how long it's been frozen. And if they could still test a live virus on it, I mean, who knows? Who knows what this thing is mutating to? I mean, after a while, they probably say he won't kill it. You know, you just don't know. You just don't know.
Remember they said the summertime heat was going to kill the virus, and it's still going on. So yeah, you're right. You don't know what it's going to mutate into.
So you definitely know lies is out there. One question that one of the viewers had was they said when we was talking about bring your papers, they were saying, is the papers necessary for intimacy or is the papers necessary just to come to your house?
Both.
Yeah, because these days face to face is being intimate. It's you're exchanging fluids or germs that you're not really trying to share. So I mean, and it's really for both people. It's not just for me. It's to make sure that he doesn't come to my house and get sick. I mean, I still go to the grocery store. I still receive packages every day. So.
Okay. So, you know, your president is saying that within 12 months, well, it should be closer than that now since we didn't kind of been going through this since 8 months, but 12 to 18 months, they're supposed to have a vaccine. Would you take the vaccine? Will either one of y'all take the vaccine? Or would you require a date to take the vaccine?
No, ma'am. I'm not taking the vaccine.
Okay.
Who, me?
Would you require a date? Yeah. How about the date? Would you require him if he says I took the vaccine? If I took the vaccine, would that be okay with you?
No, because it takes the whatever vaccine they come up with, that is not enough adequate time to come up with the real vaccine. So the first set of people taking it, those are called guinea pigs. They're doing a trial. How many people are going to survive? How many will? I'm not going to be in that number. And most of the men I date are too smart to do that. I mean, that's no insult intended to anybody else, but I might be a little extra, but the people I date are worse than me. So
why do you think? I heard what both of you all said. That Sean, like I say, you're not as mass oriented as Dawn down here. But why do you think that males? Because both of y'all said the same thing about males. Why do you think males is not as concerned about this virus as both of you are?
Child.
I would say they are worried to a certain degree. Like I said, we have the conversations, but they're not extreme with it. Like I said, we follow the rules if we were to go into an establishment, but I mean, that's about it.
Yeah. Okay, how about you, Dawn? What do you think why males is not as focused on the pandemic and staying safe, and we're making sure that you have your mask like you trying to make sure they have their mask? Why do you think males don't care?
Well, I'm going to go back to my old example of HIV for the same reason that a lot of them don't wear protection, because they don't care. They're more interested in, I don't know, one head thinking instead of the other head. They don't think past the moment most times. That's, again, no insult to anybody, but I have to tell people what to do. And to me, if I have to tell the man I'm with what to do in order to keep us safe, he's not much of a protector, and that's not somebody I'd be interested in.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you all for coming on and telling us about it from a women's perspective. I do have some guys that's supposed to come on after you to hear what they have to say, because that's interesting. You know, women are definitely focused on safety. So we want to hear what the men have to say. And I appreciate it. Like I say, it's no right or wrong answer. We all trying to figure out this how, because it looked like it may be the norm. So we all trying to figure it out. But thank you again, and thank you for chatting with CC.
Thank you.
Okay, then we're gonna have our males come on. Let me see. We got one.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Okay, can we? Yeah, we can hear you. Can we see some faces? Can y'all turn on your camera?
I'm in a.
You in a car? Hello, hello. Okay, well, you're in a car, so we can't see you anyway, but that's fine. I understand you driving, but you can hear us. You can hear us pretty good. What about
Yeah.
Andre? Andre, can you turn on your camera?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We just can't see you.
All right, yeah, give me a moment. I'm trying to sort this camera. Let's do it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, right there. Okay, we have two guys here. Now, we heard a lady's perspective on dating and what they feel about the COVID. And for my viewers, we have Mark that's driving, and he haven't reached his destination. So on the safety side of it, we're just gonna let him drive, and he could talk. We can hear him. He's gonna talk, but that's why you don't really see him. So we have Mark Barlow and Andre coming on. Now the question is, we've been talking about dating in the pandemic, and I know as a single person pre COVID, you was out dating like you wanted to, really didn't have to worry about nothing. Or I don't know, maybe you did have to worry about something. You could tell us about it. But Andre, we're gonna start with you first. What's the difference that you faced pre-pandemic compared to with the pandemic? Have you changed some of your dating habits? Is it like is things changed for you? Is it important to you, or what?
Yeah, things have changed. You know, so last year, you know, I might meet somebody new and go on a date with them that same week, or you know, I'd go to a place like a bar or something and meet somebody and we could go from there. But nah, not anymore. No. If I didn't know you beforehand, if we weren't already dating, I'm not really looking to do it. And if we do, then we gotta go somewhere like a park maybe, where it's just us. But generally, I'm not really looking to date with this going on. It just seems a little different.
Okay. So what I'm hearing, and Marcus, can you put your on mute while I talk to Andre a minute, and then you can take it off mute once I finish with him?
Yep, I can do.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now what I hear you say is, before the pandemic, did you worry about any kind of diseases then, or it was just, you know, a free for all? I shouldn't say a free for all, but you know, like you wasn't, if you met somebody, say online, you wasn't looking at them sideways or anything like that. But now you're saying that and you correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying that if you meet somebody now, it's either somebody you know, or if you meet a strange person, they have to be out in the park. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. So first, I mean, I was still keeping it safe beforehand. Not necessarily for like colds and flus though. So it's more for
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing. But now, yeah, yeah, I would say you're right. I'm not. Nobody knew, and if it is somebody new, I have to really like
Okay.
you. Gotta know where it's going.
Okay.
Right?
Well, so you have to really, really like them to do that. If you show up, I'm gonna say this before I go to Marky. If they show up, if you meet them online and you know it's a nice girl that you look like, you know, like you really, really want to go on a date, and say it's raining that you can't meet outside, or say, do y'all even talk about math or anything? Do y'all even talk about that beforehand? And do you bring it up first, or she brings it up first? What usually happens?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure to be honest. I guess it does seem a little awkward to try and set up the date and be like, hey, if we're gonna do this, if we date and you pop up and I'm mad, be back in the car. I don't think I would get back in the car. It's an iffy line. I would prefer she had a mask, but I would assume she
Okay,
was.
but it's an awkward situation.
Yeah.
So that's why pretty much you don't bring it up because it's awkward to talk about it.
Well, chances are I'm not going, but yeah, if we do, it's. I think I would expect us both to be on the same page. We need to.
Okay, so you talk about it before you actually get out there and meet.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if she don't talk about it first, you're gonna bring it up.
Hmm. Yes. Especially if you, like
Okay.
you said, side is done. Like it feels like a park or something. I might let it slide. But if we're going somewhere, there's a lot of people. Yeah, I'm definitely bringing it up.
Okay. Okay, Marky, can you hear me?
I'm gonna mute myself now.
I can hear you.
Okay, so tell me about you when pre-COVID. Was you worried about any diseases or anything compared to now? Do you care that COVID out there? Do you make any kind of special requests, or do most of your ladies, do they bring it up, or do you bring it up first? Tell me the difference. The same way Andre had expressed. What do COVID mean to you as far as the way you dated before and after? Can you hear me?
He's on mute. We just
He,
told him.
okay, Marky, you're gonna have to unmute your phone.
Yeah, is it unmuted?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So it's all on you. Tell us about how you date.
So before COVID, obviously people were worried about STDs and whatnot, but nothing that was transmitted through the air or from handshakes or anything like that. That wasn't really a concern.
Okay,
So
so
it was
what
just
about
kind
now?
of to meet people, whether it was online or in person. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely a concern that you talk about, whether you're meeting someone on a dating app or you are brave enough to talk to them in person, which I haven't really seen much of. But if you're meeting on a dating app, then I haven't seen much of it. I'm currently dating, and I haven't seen any mention of, like it's been like the slightest of, are you clean or have you had it or do you have it? But that's as far as any female precaution that I've ran into. Besides that, I haven't met anyone, but they seem perfectly okay with wanting to meet up. And it's really just video chat, confirm. I'm an exception because I get tested every Friday for my job, but they don't seem to
Okay.
like have any concern or care if I did get tested regularly.
Okay, so you're saying the ladies don't really seem like they are concerned. So since you get tested regularly from your job, do you bring it up first? Do you bring it up, or if they don't say nothing, you don't say anything?
I only bring it up when I feel like we're actually gonna meet. And before I ever meet someone, I do the video chat anyway, just because it helps you get more familiar with a person and actually making sure they are who they say they are on their profiles. So I've never really had to. I haven't, like I said, no, I haven't really gone that far with anybody yet because we haven't clicked like that since COVID.
Mhm.
But I'm always pretty precautious before I ever meet someone anyway.
Okay. Well, that's a smart thing to see them on Zoom, but Zoom is not going to tell you if they have COVID. But like you say, if you go further, I guess you would. Okay, if you had a date, or say you met a lady and you are going to go further, what would you do for a date? What would you suggest for a date?
Similar like what he said before, you try and pick somewhere outside a park, something like that, where you guys can meet, walk, and talk, where you don't have to worry about the restrictions that the society has for COVID right now. Trying to find a restaurant or sit down or something like that. But that's really all you can do. Your options are very much limited these days.
I got the harsh questions here. I got something for you.
Okay, so now I'm asking about the same questions. Okay, okay, Mark. If say you meet this lady and you vibing with her, and like you say, you get tested regularly anyway. But um, say y'all been Zoom talking for a while. Do you tell her when you decide to meet her in the park that if she don't come with a mask that it's no deal, or you just you like her and you just don't care? I mean, what happens with that? Or do you tell her that she's definitely gonna have a mask when you meet her?
I feel like well, the easy way through that situation is one. Well, most people are always handy with the mask anyway, so I almost
Mm-hmm.
halfway expect it. But just to be sure, I just tell her, hey, we're gonna go here. Just make sure you have a mask, just in case we have to go in somewhere, and that should solve that
Okay.
issue.
Okay. And she gets out the car with no mask, but the mask is on her hand. You just do you tell her, and y'all out in the park, do you tell her like, hey baby, you better put that mask on, or do you mention it before you come within 6 feet of her? What do you do?
For me, knowing that I'm more on the precautious side, I'm gonna say, do you have your mask with you? And like, if you're gonna go on a date with someone at this time, you're probably not even that concerned about it in the first place. So for like, it's just how that really goes. Me personally, I know that I've got like antibodies, but I don't know about other people. So, but if you're going on a date at this age and age, COVID is probably not your biggest concern, and you probably don't take it that seriously.
Yeah, but okay. Well, this is for you and Andre. Even if you take it that seriously, like I said, we don't know how long COVID going to be around. So it may be a new norm. I mean, unless you're going to go dateless or stay single, you're going to have to work out something. So, I mean, you're going to have to do something. So when the winter time comes and you can't come and go into a park, and Andre, you get ready because I'm going to ask you too. You can't go to a park because it's winter time. And you can't really sit outside for a restaurant. What are you going to do?
And for that, I think it's gonna be similar to how it depends on how you feel about like STDs or any kind of disease. You ask them, hey, before we meet, when's the last time you got tested for COVID? Or you're
Okay.
just gonna risk it like the same way that you do with STDs. You're gonna risk it and be like, hey, let's meet. And if you get it, then like if you don't have it, you don't have it. If you do, then you find out. But most people have been in contact with multiple people already. So if you honestly, once it gets to that norm, you're either gonna risk it or you're not.
Okay, and you comfortable enough to say that to a lady if you're going to date her?
If you're gonna risk it, then you're not gonna say anything. Neither person is gonna say anything. You're just gonna meet. Like if you're gonna risk it, then that's gonna be like an unspoken, hey, let's meet. You guys meet, and no mask, and you just continue on with your date as if it wasn't COVID.
But I'm asking what you're going to do personally. So is that your feeling of it? If you like her that much, you're just going to risk it?
If I like her that much, and I know that I can't give her COVID, and I know that I have the antibodies to fight it, then I'm not that worried about it just because I'm protected. So it'll honestly be like her decision, and if she would like to continue on or not.
Okay, before I go to Andre, let me ask you, how do you feel? How do you know you got antibodies against COVID?
I got the swab test for my nose and blood tested. The blood test gives you the
Well, that
information
shows.
if the antibodies or not.
Okay, well, I haven't heard that because I mean that's something new. I'm not doubting you, but I mean I heard that people that had COVID before, they tend to develop a certain immune for a temporary while because in other countries people that have had it seem to be getting reinfected. So they think that the antibodies is temporary, but in your case, if you haven't had COVID, right? But you're saying that the blood test that you got, that you have received, told you that you got immunity. That's what you're saying, right?
If I have the antibodies, that means there was a point where I had COVID. I didn't have any symptoms
Oh,
of it.
okay.
So that I had it,
Okay.
and my body was able to develop the antibodies to fight it off.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Okay, so we're gonna go to Andre. So if you could put your mic on mute, Marky, we're gonna go to Andre. So Andre, say it's winter time and you can't go to a park and you want to date and I said before, I mentioned that AMC is supposed to be opening up this weekend. Now they supposed to do social distancing and they supposed to sterilize. I don't know how they're gonna do this. What are you gonna do? Are you still gonna date?
You ever dropped something in between those seats at the movie theaters and like went in the cracks? Filthy, filthy. So no to the movies. But
So where you gonna go?
I mean, she can pull up.
So they could come to your house. That's what you're saying.
Cook for you, cook for me. We can watch something, but
But what if the lady, if y'all just not getting to know each other, she may not feel extremely comfortable coming to your house.
Yeah, no, you're right. We're talking about first date. You're right.
Yeah, we talking about you just met this person, and she may not feel comfortable coming to your house, and she may not feel comfortable with you coming to her house.
And we can't go outside, and I'm not going inside where there's a lot of people. I don't know.
When you go outside, you're just gonna be cold.
We're not going outside in the winter time.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: if the girl comes up, go ahead. Go ahead.
Your dream girl. You've known her since high school. She in high school she took good care of herself. She got tested in high school for STDs and everything, right? Now your dream girl hits you up mid-COVID, and she said she wants to come over. Dream girl, you going? She coming over, or you telling her no?
You talking to Marky?
Yeah.
Marky, he wants you to answer.
This is your dream girl.
Ask the question one more time.
Your dream girl hits you up. You've known her since high school.
You gotta leave. Okay.
She's clean. In high school, she got tested for STDs and everything, but now it's COVID times. But she hits you up just randomly one night. Can I come over? Are you telling her no? Dream girl.
If she's my dream girl and she said that we don't know if she has COVID or not, like she's coming over, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, she's coming over.
Okay, we have a question. Do you ask your date what their personal protocols are? Like when you meet a girl, do you ask her like, do she have any special protocols to date them? Like do they wear gloves, or do you ask them like what do they do? Are they cautious? Do they wear gloves when they go out? Do they use hand sanitizer? Do y'all even talk about stuff like that?
Yes.
We have.
Uh,
I haven't talked
like,
to someone about wearing gloves or hand sanitizer, but I mean, I carry hand sanitizer with me, and I'll try and put it in her hand. If she denies it, then I know.
Okay, Marky, you said no too, right?
no, that's yeah. Like we talk about it. It's usually if it's there have that like extensive protocols. It's a more elaborate conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, do you wear? How are you with COVID? Like it's usually I let that breeze by kind of question. Like, oh, how are you in COVID right now? How are you doing in COVID? How are you coping?
Yep.
You can usually get a feel
Mm-hmm.
for how they are in COVID, whether they are taking it more serious than others. Then you're like, okay, if you're one of the not serious ones, you'll be like, okay, I need to cater to her so I can make sure that it goes well. You know? But it's
Okay.
like if that's the case, you'll ask, hi, is your family off risk or high risk or something like that? If that's the case, then it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we'll make sure we're cautious. If they're not one of those people that are high risk, then you're like, okay, cool, we can just go about the date how we would usually.
Okay. Okay. Andre, I got another question for you. If you talk with this girl and you have expressed concerns about, you concerned about COVID. If she meets you and she have her mask in her hand and not on her face, how do you approach it?
I mean, first, I mean, it depends on if we had those prior conversations. So if I know that she's kind of aware and is keeping up to date, and I probably will since she has a mask in her hand, then I think we can say
Mm-hmm.
hey and talk a little bit. I'm not gonna hound her about putting on her mask.
Okay, so you're gonna continue on with the date. Okay.
I'm worried I can put a mask on and I'll be okay, right? I don't got the
Well, I guess that's the idea. We had the women on that said that no men that they dated came first and asked them about, do you have a mask, or they just didn't seem concerned about COVID. What do you have to say about that? I mean, is that most of your friends? I know both of you seem to be concerned about it, but the general consensus around men out there, are they concerned about COVID, or a lot of them don't care, or what's going on?
I think my friends.
It's a very case by case basis. It's literally like, oh, like it's. I've seen women who have zero concern, and men who
Mm-hmm.
are extremely concerned, and it's really just a case by case situational basis on how they are and how they've been affected by it so far.
Okay, I have a question for that. Andre, do you feel the same way?
Definitely.
Oh, okay. My question is, if, like you said, some of them don't care, some of them do care. The ones that don't care, do you kind of look at them with the side eye, or you just feel like, oh, she don't care, but she fine, so if she don't care, I don't care. What is that it?
For me, it's not like a if you don't care, I don't care thing, because I still personally
Mhm.
take precautions because I
Okay.
don't want to affect the people that I work with because it'll mess up my job and my family
Yeah.
members if I ever do get to go and see them. But it's more of a like again, like you're judging every situation on that particular
Okay.
situation. So if they don't care, I'm like, okay, well, we'll do it like this, and I'll take my own personal precautions once I get a feel for how they are going to be.
So you're gonna wear your mask, like Andre said. Andre said he will wear his mask. So it's never a deal breaker. It's never like if she just don't seem like she's using hand sanitizer and she fine as wine and she just seem like she just out there going grocery shopping, and everywhere you see her at a party, a swimming party and stuff. It's never a deal breaker if she don't take precautions.
Not necessarily. It can be a deal breaker if I feel like they have
Anyone?
like zero regard for other people's lives and they just don't care. Like they'll see people with masks on and be like, oh,
Mhm.
whatever, they're stupid. Like then I'm gonna
Okay.
look at as a character issue more than like a safety issue.
Yeah. I don't
Mhm.
want to be around someone who is not taking this seriously at all.
Okay, Andre, you gotta speak up. What you say?
1 second.
Okay, Marky, you're gonna have to go on mute for Andre to speak.
I
Okay,
said,
Andre, say it again.
So I don't want to be around anyone who is not taking this
You would,
at least a little bit serious.
okay, serious,
So,
okay. Okay. Okay, well, that's a good discussion. Like I say, it may be the norm, so we have to figure it out. I appreciate you both for coming on with me tonight to chat with Cece. Y'all stay safe and y'all have a good night.
all right, you too. Good night.
Okay, bye.